trying that again. X-Men First Class. Now, when I first heard that there was going to be another X-Men movie, like many people, I was just sitting there like, why? This series has been milked to the core. Even though I do like all of the movies, I was semi-excited for this one, and then half of me was like, do we really need another one of these movies? So, then the first trailer came out. I did not like it. I didn't feel it. I didn't like the way it was too far into the 60s. It was too much of Kennedy and all that Russians and the war and the nuclear bombs and So X-Men First Class, it follows Professor Xavier when he was young as Charles and Magneto when he was young as Eric, as they first meet and become friends before they were enemies, and what happens to make them enemies, essentially. Michael Fassbender was, as I predicted in my June preview, he was pitch perfect as Magneto. I could not think of anyone who is better suited for that role than he is. He just nails this role right out of the park. He's the best one in the movie. That's not to say that no one else was good. James McAvoy as Charles, he is great. I really liked what he was doing with the role. He fit it really well. Overall, very good. Everyone else, the supporting cast, Jennifer Lawrence, all of the other mutants, they were all good. And Kevin Bacon, he's back, man. He's the villain in the movie. He's Sebastian Shaw, who's the enemy, who Magneto is hunting down to try and kill. And he's just amazing. Kevin Bacon should just stick with these villainous roles, because he is great at them. He has to stop doing all these horrible movies. Acting, great all around. Not a problem with it at all. One of my fears going into this movie was that relating it to the 60s too much would have made it unenjoyable for me. Not at all. It was basically non-existent for me. I completely and thoroughly enjoyed this movie for everything it is. And the Cuban Missile Crisis, that is really put into the story very well. It just all ties in so nicely. The action in the movie, director Matthew Vaughn, he owns the X-Men movies now. He's the best director of all the X-Men movies that we've had so far. The action, while it is few and far between, which I like because it was building the story before the action is absolutely phenomenal. Getting into the story now, the story is great. I really liked seeing all the characters develop. There is like at least a half an hour to an hour of build-up to the movie, like character development, everyone meeting each other, everything going on. It's just so great to see a movie that does all of that instead of just jumping in, here are the characters, here's the bad guy, fight. I hate when movies do that. This movie is so intense. I mean, remember in the trailer the scene where Charles and Magneto are talking to each other about mankind knowing that they exist and then stopping the war and then they're gonna fear him and all that? I'm gonna go out on a limb and compare that scene's intensity to the Dark Knight's interrogation scene's intensity. That was just absolutely great. Fassbender and McAvoy have great chemistry together. You could really tell the struggle, and there's no real spoilers here because everyone knows this. Knowing that Magneto is eventually going to turn and Mystique is going to go with him just adds to the intensity right near the end when you could see it's coming. You just know it's coming, and then it happens. All in all, X-Men First Class, not a problem with it. This is the best Marvel movie to come out since Spider-Man 2. And now I'm going to debut a new rating system I've come up with. No numbers, no stars, none of that crap. I was sitting in Pirates 4 a few weeks ago and I realized how much popcorn I was eating. So, I've taken the definition of a popcorn flick and just made it into a rating system. Worst rating I have? No popcorn. A rating for a pretty bad movie is a small popcorn. A rating for an okay movie, but it has a lot of flaws, a medium popcorn. Rating for a pretty good movie, but it still has a couple of flaws, but I can get past that, a large popcorn. And for an amazing movie like this, 2 large popcorns. This movie is absolutely phenomenal. Its Adjustment Bureau has finally been bumped, and this is the best movie of the year so far. Go out and see it. I guarantee you will have a great time, just like everyone else has that I've been with. And I have to do this. A little shout out to my brother who helped me with that opening scene there.
Actually have magnetic powers, don't tell anyone though.
And Kenny and Colton, my cousins, happy birthday. I hope you have a great birthday.